gonna get distracted by your love interests. Okay, we gotta talk. You know, like that is always gonna get you. Whether they are boyfriend, girlfriend, situationship, that one actually be the worst one.
That's the worst one. That one tear you up.
If you gotta name it that's a distraction.
Right. The situationships, the friends with benefits, the whatevers, all of that can be a distraction if it's not healthy, if it's not well communicated, if it's not serving you, if it's not elevating your life, if it doesn't feel safe. Your body will tell you if it doesn't feel safe. That the next thing you know, you're like planning your whole life around somebody, and they not planning theirs around you.
Yeah.
What kind of sense does that make?
Yeah, crying and throwing up over somebody who ain't.
Crying and throwing up is tea.
Get up off the floor.
I think it got a little personal.
Hi, my name's Colby Ray.
My name is Derek, but I go by Mayor because I'm always on campaign.
My name is KT. I don't know what I did with my hands.
My name is Imani.
And this is Chicken Nugget.
It's our mascot for the day, I guess.
Yes. And welcome to Life Lessons. Today, we are here, and we are the Power of Me team. Woo!
If you like pina colada,
I'm getting caught in the rain.
In the rain.
Do you like waking up on Sunday?
That's not the words.
Monty always singing the wrong words, everybody.
It's been stuck in our head for the past 3 weeks.
Yes.
You like wicked?
He don't say that?
What?
He don't say that?
No.
He doesn't say that.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
Go.
It don't matter because
Anyway.
then we ain't gotta pay him because you didn't say it right.
Right.
So-
Right. Well,
But anyway, the Power of Me team, that's us. We are the team that goes before the Black College Expo to every market that the Black College Expo is in, except for like the quick markets like Fresno and North Carolina and Portland. We don't really do that much. But in other markets, the week of the expo, we go into the local high schools of that market and we speak to the juniors and seniors or the whole school. Sometimes we do the whole school, but we speak to them about, life after high school. We empower them about higher education. We tell them about the expo and how they can like take advantage of all the wonderful opportunities and resources that are going to be at the expo. And we dope.
Yeah. And we wanted to bring our power of meanness to all of you.
Power
because,
of meanness.
Yes, power of meanness. Because no.
Hey, yo.
Cut that out, Norco.
He's not going to cut it out.
Damn. We need to cut out this entire intro, actually.
This is us. This is
Nah,
us.
think about it.
This is
Not
what you
gonna cut
get
it out.
when you get the power of me.
Dr. Price
It's
gonna
us.
laugh when she sees it.
We like the Marines. We go in first. We act crazy. We get in. We get out.
The Marines.
So the Marines is crazy.
I am
don't
not
wanna
like
be.
any Marine that you know.
I don't want to be a Marine.
That's for sure.
I don't want to be a Marine.
But anyway, we are bringing all of our wisdom and fun and kookiness all the way to you guys. And we wanted to talk about all the things that students talk to us about all the time and kind of translate it into not only life after high school as in like college and trade school, etc., but also life. So today we will be talking about staying on path, staying on course, and pretty much distractions, because those are the main things that bring us off course if we're just talking about that. So
Distractions. That's a big word for Elmo. You know,
That's a big word for
distractions.
Elmo.
What is y'all definition of a distraction? Let's start there with the conversation. Like, because a lot of people have different definitions of a distraction. You could say, like, if you want to start with the in the college terms, you could say the party is a distraction. You could say a relationship is a distraction. You could say yourself can be a distraction. What do y'all say?
chicken nugget is my distraction.
That's a good question. I think I would say like my definition of a distraction or distractions is something that you allow to get in the way of whatever that goal at hand is. So I mean, I guess I kind of cliche a little bit, but it's also like you can't allow anything to sway what you want to do. You know, you got to see that light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like if you allow anything to just come into play, you know,
That's a
and
distraction.
hinder that, that's a distraction.
Mm.
No matter what it is.
I feel that, bro. 100.
What about you, Money?
Maybe like losing sight of your focus. So maybe if like 2020 vision, you have like, what's your vision? 25, 19.
Dang.
Why you do me like that?
Dang.
I'm
Called out the homie.
example.
Why you use Derek? He got the best vision, ain't her?
But I'm saying like
Whatever
when you
it
don't
is.
have your contacts on, you get distracted.
You getting distracted. That's
Yo.
good though.
That's a good one, though.
That is a good
Run it
one.
back, though, without him.
All right, right. Okay, so yeah,
You
like
could use me. I literally have my glasses on.
well, I lost sight of that.
She on y'all right now. She is on y'all right
I
now.
was distracted.
Oh my god.
We
Lock
cannot
it
be
in,
together.
bro.
Too soon.
Too soon.
It's too soon.
The fact that she put me out of everybody. You know I can't see. I've been fighting for my life.
No, I can't
I
see.
can't see. I'm legally blind.
Like
All
right
right.
now, we are distracted.
Big time.
Very.
Because
That's
of
our
something she did.
that is our best quality
Oh my God.
as a group.
As a
Is just getting distracted.
This is us.
Oh lordy,
Can you say your definition again, though?
please.
My definition of being distracted is losing sight of your journey or losing sight or losing focus of where you're going. You have something in mind where you want to be, but like, you know, you see something off the side of the road and you're like, let me go do that real quick. And then before you know it, everything and everybody in the race has made it to the finish line.
Ooh.
Yes. And also distractions are sometimes they're not always negative. I know like we're
Ooh.
kind of saying that they're negative, but sometimes something that starts as a distraction could just be a new pathway for you to get to whatever finish line that you want. So
Yeah.
I want to bring that perspective in too because you know, sometimes you have a goal and you have 2020 vision on something you want to do and then something in life happens or you get distracted by something and you're like, wait, I'm like, this might be something more positive and maybe I want to verge off the path or maybe they merge eventually. But there's a big umbrella over distractions,
That's
which
fair.
I think is very...
I like what you just said there, because sometimes, you know, like, it's like when you playing, like, one of them RPG games, and, like, you supposed to be doing this, but you got, like, all these side quests. Those
No,
could be
like, for
distractions,
real.
and, like, you go off and do those side quests, but by the time you get to whatever it is you was really supposed to be doing, your experience is up. You done got all these different weapons and stuff like
Right.
that. Like,
You
so
needed
I
those
feel
side
that. I
quests.
feel that perspective.
I
Them
think
side
that's so
quests.
real.
Picking up coins
Ooh.
on the
Yeah,
way, the gold coins.
Them
I feel
side
like that.
quests.
I feel like my journey along the way, like over the last 10 years, has been like I had weird distractions and some that were not very beneficial to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like the last 10 years of my distractions have kind of finally led me to being like, all right, girl, like what you gonna do? And so I've kind of solidified like what I kind of want in the next 5 to 10 years for myself. But it took 10 years of distractions to kind of get there, to
Yeah.
like for that clarity.
What
Yeah.
was your biggest distraction, you feel like?
Ooh, since we're in the business of throwing shade,
Oh no! Oh no!
I had a boyfriend out of high school and then into college that like I eventually got married, and I was like super secretive about the relationship, but the relationship was really toxic, and like, you know, my friends and family kind of knew, but I was like, you know, very caught up and focused on like what my relationship was doing, but not really like what I needed to do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that distraction within itself, with all its toxicity, kind of led me to realizing like, all right, girl, like this is not helping you, and you need to talk to somebody about it, and you can't be secretive. So remove yourself from this and see kind of like where it goes.
Yeah. Those are the ones that you kind of like put yourself in sometimes, and then
Yes.
like that type of distraction is a lesson.
Right. It's
Yeah.
always a lesson.
It's always
Yeah.
a lesson. It's a lesson. That's a big lesson sometimes, because you be so caught up in how you want it to go, and it's got to go like this. It's got to go like this. Where it's like sometimes it's
Right.
like just
Right. You
Let
could
it
want
go.
something so bad that it takes you off your path.
man, and that's the crazy thing, because you
Yeah.
think, oh, this my new path. Then forget what y'all talking about. This is my new path, but it's like no, turn around.
Turn around.
What y'all was saying? What's it called? Get off the floor.
Get off the
Get
floor.
off the
Turn
floor,
around.
sweetheart. Yeah. And definitely, I think like stepping into like adulthood with like a really deeply attached relationship. What is it, like separation anxiety? Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't do anything without my partner, or like what is my partner gonna do if we're not doing the same things? And like I was high achieving and I was doing well, but my partner wasn't. So I was like very fixated on I have to do well and they have to do well. So I got distracted on like making sure that they were doing as well as myself, but you can't make someone do well for themselves. You can only focus on yourself. And so that's what distracted me. It was like I'm trying to see what my partner is doing so that way we could be happy together, but that's not real, you know.
And that honestly doesn't only apply to like just relationships, like romantic. Like if you have homies that's going to be one of the biggest distractions that you face, especially going to college, is like there's going to be homies that are doing stuff that you are not supposed to be doing, that are going to take you off your path, and you're going to be so worried about what they doing and worried about them, or worried about trying to keep up with them, that you're not keeping up with yourself.
Yeah.
That's that influence. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How do y'all see like other people's influence causing a distraction on you? Or it might be not even on you, or just in general. How big do you think other people's influence is
I think
when it
for
comes to
me,
distractions?
I dealt with something like that. I would say while I was in school, that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
while I was at FAMU, I would come home for the summer, and like I knew YouTubers and stuff like that. So it's like I'll come home for the summer, and I'll either go to my boy house in Vegas. I'm like, dang, bro, you got this 5-bedroom
Lit
house.
already.
Like,
You said
you
Vegas,
doing
lit.
your thing. You know, we both 21, 22. Then we go to the homegirl house that may stay in Burbank. I'm like, dang, you got this little cold loft, you know?
Mhm.
And I'm seeing all these little things that, you know, that they have. And it was like, it made me think like, I need to go do YouTube. I need to go
Yeah.
do this. Let me go find a
Yeah.
way to get that quick money. But it's
Yeah.
also like, it's about timing though, because they had that situation then, and it was just like, God was like, nah, wait, because I'm gonna do this for you.
Right.
So now it's kind of like a situation where, you know, I'm in my prime right now and doing what I'm doing. But at the moment, that stressed me out because I was just like, dang, I see all this. I want this. I'm just a regular college student. I feel like I'm getting behind when I leave to go back to school. And all my homies elevating. Got Benzes, doing all this type of stuff. But, you know, that's what we see from the outside. But we understand, like, you know, that's kind of like quick stuff. That ain't really like the longevity aspect of life.
You ever see somebody do something on social media and be like, I could dance better than that? You be dancing like I could dance better than that.
All the time.
Let me get
All
my
the
camera
time.
out. I can do that. Then your phone, your camera just don't be looking like it. Looking the same as that.
No, it's like I'm like, how do they set this up? What
Right.
is this angle?
I know.
Social media trips me out. Like I feel like so much of it is so addicting, and it's like it's real but it's fake, you know. Like you can't always be set up like that. Like influencers be having the big light rings and like the
Right.
props and the money and the resources and the sponsorships, where it's like, yeah, you could work for that, but you know, it's not
That's a lot of
easy.
work.
It's a lot of work.
They make it look so easy, but it's like, dang, this is a lot of work.
They make it
And
look
I think
real
that isn't like anything that you want to be good at is gonna take hard work, which is why
Yes.
it's better to not get distracted by somebody else's hard work.
Yeah, or compare
facts.
yourself.
Right.
There we go.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I think
that's a big
comparing
one.
yourself is like, you know, very crazy. You gotta just kind of go on your own journey. You can't look at someone else's journey and be like, how did they get there so
Right.
quickly? Especially like, you know, everybody has different types of resources and support. Sometimes me and my friends, we talk about like, man, this person made it here already. But like we look at like the support and resources that we have, and it's like, although we might be really smart, you know, this person has like more affluence or like more connections or more money or whatever it might be that helps them get there sooner. And it doesn't demote, you know, your intelligence because this person is able to like acquire a certain type of like goal or status.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes people have help, and it's hard when you're on your own, especially when you have all that freedom. Freedom itself is a distraction.
Right.
That's
Freedom!
that's on that timing you was talking about, because even if you look at that and you still talk about like what people have and other people's influence and social media and stuff, you still don't see the timing of the videos that they make or the behind the scenes work where it was like they probably spent a month straight just content farming or something like that. Or even with other people, like you see people working out, you might see them later on, they just looking real buff, but you don't know like they had to wake up early in the morning
At
for like
5 a.m.,
3
6 a.m.
months straight and change their whole eating habits and all this other stuff. And like you look at it, it's like, oh, I want to be strong like them, and you get distracted. You just run in the gym and start
Right.
lifting, or you just run to your camera and try and be the next influencer. When it's like you still gotta think like, if you want to get distracted by what they doing, get distracted by their work ethic too.
Right.
Yes.
And I also like told myself, like, I'm 28, so I fell into that whole realm of like we said, like, you know, looking at social media and stuff like that. Like my addiction low key is Instagram. Like I just be scrolling, people watching, I ain't gonna lie, watching funny stuff. But I had to tell myself, like, appreciate your grind, because you're going through
Yes.
something and you're doing things that a lot of people look at you in the way you may look at others, but people see you as like, you know, we travel.
Yeah.
My family, friends, everybody, they like, oh, you always going. I wish I had a job like that, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm blessed to be in this position, but I'm like, can you do what we do, though?
Man.
That's the difference. Like, can you do what we do? Can you go and stand in front of 200 kids and keep them engaged the whole time?
The
like,
whole time.
So it's that element where I'll be like, you got to appreciate where you are, because it's like sometimes we can lose sight based off of the other things that we see that may, you know, whether it just conflicts us mentally or it allows us to see that and be like, okay, let me go get that.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I feel like too, like a part of comparing yourself to other people's journeys is like I used to beat myself up over like the pace at which I was going, and I finally kind of learned within the last few years, like I'm a slow moving person, and because I have so much on my plate and I like to multitask, but like that isn't always the most efficient way to get things done. And so like for me, for school, it's like I can't do no more than 2 classes at a time, because like the information that I have to absorb or the things that I also have to consider is like my mental capacity is only 100%. If I'm giving myself 80% of work and 20% school, that's all that I'm able to give. So it's like you really have to like compartmentalize what you're doing and give yourself that rest and that break. So I learned to like just stop beating myself up and just being like, girl, if it takes you that long, it takes you that long, but you're at least moving forward.
Man,
And that's
man,
good
man.
though, because like the fact that you realize that,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize, like they don't know themselves. A lot of people don't know themselves, and you know, granted, we're still figuring that out. Regardless, life is about figuring it out. You know,
Shout
so
out
it's just like that's the fact that you realize I can only take 3 classes, and that's, you know, I'll be able to give my maximum amount of effort for that is really good, because some people will go full fledged and then fall off and be like, I tried to do this and do
Burn
that.
out.
Right.
That's what I'm
And-
saying. And it's like,
No, go ahead.
I've burned myself out so many times doing that to the point where I figured out like, okay, like you're gonna keep burning yourself out unless you slow down.
Right. And being okay with, like you just said, I'm gonna finish it when I finish it.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it when I finish.
And
y'all.
not being rushed. Nah, that's
All right.
that's really
like,
good.
Like one of us said earlier, like yourself, like you can be your own biggest distraction, and like that can encompass like doing too much.
Yeah.
And like spreading yourself too thin, that you are a jack of all trades and a master of nothing. And the whole point of staying on course is to be a master of something, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a little hard. What is like the busiest time that all of you like have had in your life that you're like, dang, I went way off the path I was supposed to be going on?
Mine was 2015 when I was in that area of leaving Graceland, and then before going into FAMU, when I was just home at the age of 18 with nothing to do, no school to worry about, no nothing, and it was just like I had a car and I had a job where I was making like $800 a week. So that period of my life was a lot of clubbing with the friends, going out to hookah bars because we couldn't do nothing else, just being gone. Like that was where I felt like I was the most distracted. And then when you so young and you have money and you got a whip, that's the biggest thing. And your parents is like, you grown, just don't get in no trouble, don't get hurt. You got the world in your hands, realistically. So that was like the biggest. Partying is not it. That's why now when we be going and y'all be like, KT, you don't want to go out, man? I'm tired.
I'm tired. I think that's so funny because, like you said, like you have the world in your hands if you got money and a whip so young, and that is so true. And that's where you have to start finding purpose.
Facts.
Ooh.
Because a path, a course, is nothing with no purpose.
Yeah.
Preaching.
Wow.
For real.
And it's like
Right.
you can make all that money. $800 a week sound good to me.
And blowing it, but
At
hell,
18?
imagine doing that.
Right.
Imagine doing
You ain't got
that
no real bills?
and blowing it because you like, I'm finna get it back next Friday. Like, I ain't had no purpose.
That's
I was
18
just out.
though. That's
I'm
18.
18.
Like, what?
I'm already I'm gonna be realistic, going through a depression state because I'm like, dang, I'm not in school. Don't know schools want me, so now I'm not even, like, yeah, I want to go back to school, but how do I do it? I'm not going to no junior college, but I'm making bread though. But then I got my mama in my ear, like, don't get comfortable with that money, and then I'm just
Don't
like,
get
yeah, okay,
comfortable.
you know,
Yeah.
it's that whole element.
Comfort can be a distraction.
Yes.
Think about that.
Mm.
Think
How
about it.
comfortable are you right now to
Right.
where it's like, well, I got me a little house, I got me a car, you know, I got all this going for me. I don't want to mess nothing up. So you don't want to do some other things you're supposed to be doing so that you can elevate yourself.
Right.
Comfort can be a distraction.
Facts.
Ooh.
I think there's also a fear in, like, elevation though,
Yes.
because there's a risk associated with that. Like you just
People
said,
afraid of heights. People are afraid of
I
heights.
want to stay where I'm at, you know. Like you said though, like I want to stay where I'm at. I don't want to jeopardize messing up what I have because there's a risk associated with it. When it's like, no, you need to take that leap of faith because you're gonna elevate even higher than where you were, you know.
It's difficult. That is difficult. A leap of faith.
Very.
And you like have to know when it's time for comfort to be done. You know, because you can be comfortable. It's okay to be comfortable, like, because that's always what we're striving for. Essentially, is like to get to a place of comfort. But like, if you're in a comfortable place and like nothing's happening, you have no purpose, like you feel too comfortable, like you gotta know when it's time to elevate, when it's time to take that next step, go to level 3.
And you know what I realized too? Like, as human, we're never satisfied.
Ever.
And like, even with kind of being comfortable, to an extent, it's like we're comfortable, but for how long? Because we may set a goal, and once we achieve that goal, we be like, thank you, God, you gave us this, blah, blah, blah. This is everything that I dreamed of and
But
that I wanted.
Right.
And then 2 weeks later, that new Mercedes. So
You know what I'm talking about? I was just about to say that.
Them
You
new
get
shoes.
another iPhone every year, bro.
Right.
What you
You
mean?
about to buy another
Like,
pair
we're-
of Birks today.
We're never
Ah.
satisfied. And I think that's life, because that also comes with elevating. You shouldn't be. You should always want to achieve more. You should always like strive to be greater than what you know are already are. So it's like, I think that's an element where people need to understand, like, it's okay to want more, but just be willing to put that work in behind it.
I can even argue that comfort might be one of the biggest distractions. Biggest.
I can see that. I could definitely see
Any
that.
disagreements on that
I
one?
don't see
No.
disagreements in that.
I would associate that with like fear as well, though.
Yeah, I would go back to in the list of distractions, other people's views on you. Like, you know how you said, like, you are supposed to elevate and stuff like that, and you are supposed to improve, and you even when you get comfortable in what you are in, it may not even be just that you are comfortable in what you are in. This at the time, this is what I can handle. You know what I'm saying? Like she was saying about school, like Imani was saying about school, like, this is what I can handle. So this is the pace I'm at. Maybe in a couple years, me doing this and handling this, I'll get strong enough to where I can handle a little more. But sometimes people might look at you and be like, oh, you should be on top of Mount Rushmore by now, man.
Right.
Why you ain't over there by now? And it's like, well, slow down.
Pressure,
brother. What you
Brother.
say, brother?
Like, people that are like, well, why aren't you there by now?
Right.
Well, my response to them is, well, why aren't you helping me get there?
Ooh.
You got a lot to say about why I'm not where I'm supposed to be at, but like, I didn't see you support or bring me or help me get there.
And
you
where
know?
are you?
Where you
Right.
at?
Right. Like,
Instead of
that's
being
big
a
one.
distraction,
If
be
you
a
are-
resource.
Right,
If you
be a
are strong
resource.
enough to ask me where I'm at, then why aren't you helping me? Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Ooh, I
And you
like
better
that.
be somewhere where I need to be trying to achieve and get further than where you are too. Why you questioning?
Right.
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 Because it's
And
important.
I think then within that though, sometimes like people that are better off than you are is like, well, they see the potential in you and they're threatened by that and they want to hinder you from moving forward because then that intimidates them.
Right.
Or they're jealous of that. They're jealous of your power, of where you can be, and so they try to make you feel like you aren't able to achieve those things
Yeah.
in your head, you know.
Haters are
Haters.
distractions.
I don't
They
Haters
should
are
be
distractions.
they
I
should
don't
be
be
your
liking that.
motivators. but they are also big distractions. And you know, it's not even outward haters, because it's like that. You know, it's like, oh, okay, you a hater, you could just dust them off. It's the silent haters, okay,
or the close ones.
yes,
Because we speaking to young adults and really maybe even adults, but like let's get even deeper in the aspect when it comes to the haters or the people who may question what you're doing. Let's think about like the family aspect.
Ooh.
There's a lot of people who have people in their family that may be hating on them, and realistically, if we get spiritual, they see the potential that they have, so they're gonna do anything they can do to try to prevent you from reaching that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of that of throwing those that negative energy onto a person to be able to block them from achieving their blessing, or you know.
Right. And honestly, within that, like, haters have taught me to like create boundaries with what I share with people. You don't got to tell everybody every little thing about what you're about to do and what you want to achieve and the goals you have, because people can plot against you and plot
Facts.
those evil seeds and the evil eye against you and create obstacles, you know. So it isn't just because someone is a close friend or a family doesn't mean you get to share your deepest, darkest, happiest, most valuable memories.
Do you feel like? Oh wait. Well, I want you to say what you was gonna say. I want you to say.
I was just gonna say, and disclaimer, not everybody that disagrees with you is a hater,
Right.
but it is how they're disagreeing with you. If they disagree with you and then they maybe offer you solutions, or they're trying
Right.
to, it's constructive.
Right.
Constructive criticism is not hater.
Discern
Okay?
that.
That's where I was going. I was just about to go with it. Go with the conversation, because I was gonna say, you know, sometimes people become distractions on accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, or something like that, because you might tell somebody like, oh, I would like, think about when you was in high school and you would tell other people about the school you want to go to, and they're thinking about what it takes to get there, and they're so afraid of what it takes to get there. They're like, man, I don't think you could do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because of their love for you, a counselor might accidentally say, I think you should try and apply to a different school. I think you should look at a different option. Even in some of your friendships, or even in your parents. Your parents might see that, like, you know, they might have, when they tried to go to some school or something like that, or they tried to apply to some job, or they tried to elevate or lead a hood or something like that. It was difficult for them. And when you hear happy, and it's like, I want to leave the hood, your parents are like, oh.
Yeah, because that's all they know.
Maybe you should focus on getting that job at the warehouse, Johnny. Stay right here. Just kill all that. And then that becomes a distraction because of somebody else's influence.
Right. That's big.
I think too, kind of going back into fears, right, is like maybe the people in your circle, they haven't broken certain barriers, so they're afraid to dream or think big. So when you come into the space with all these big ideas, they're like, what are you talking about? You know, nobody here has done that, so why do you think you could do that? But you can create and achieve anything that you want to, no matter the hater, no matter how hard it might be. And it's like, I think sometimes, like, the journey about how hard it can be discouraging. But you know, it's gonna take everything takes hard work, but you can't allow the hard work to like keep you from going or getting there.
Right. And you know how, like, when we be going and we go talk to all the kids and stuff like that, like, I always say, like, I'm a big advocate for like leaving home. And part of that is because of that reason. You know, get away from what could potentially be pulling you back. Like, don't be scared to go step out and blaze your own trail, because when you're in that new space, I mean, like, you're there, you can make a whole new identity. You can blaze a whole new path for yourself.
That's what you are. That's what I like about what Kobe Ray be saying, when you always talk about how you went from the IE to New York, but everything you got in New York, that's you.
Right.
And that's true. Like, when we talk to the students, that's why I like when you say that, because it's like, go figure you out. Go cultivate your own friends. That's not your friends because you lived in this school district and you had to see them every day for the past 5 days. You know what I'm saying? Go cultivate friends. Go cultivate a lifestyle. Go get a new diner. Go get a new favorite eatery or something like that. Like, really figure you out and avoid the distractions of, don't go over there.
Right.
Don't do this. You can't do that and stuff like that. I think
going away is like the crash course in how to handle distractions. It really is, because it's like I say all the time, I went 3,000 miles away, knew not a single person, y'all. I would, you know, as like me getting older and like caring about safety and whatever. I'm like, if I had a child, I would be like, oh, so scared. Like, bless my mom for letting me do that. But, and now everything there is mine, and like, I knew how to, like, be distracted smart.
Be distracted smart.
So you gonna so you so you gonna be an accidental distraction to your kids.
You know what? And you know what? I knew that's exactly what I was saying, but guys, when you have kids, I feel like it's like you just want them to be so safe and like comfortable, because comfortability is obviously always what we're striving for. We said that, but I know that's not the mentality that I need to project on them. I'm just saying, it's gonna be hard.
I want my
But
kids
you know
to
what?
leave.
Going into that, right, where it's like comfortability and the structure of comfort and protecting your kids. I think that is what made my distractions worse, because like I grew up in a really structured household, like in ways where it's like you're expected to behave a certain way and achieve certain outcomes. And anything outside of the box, if you step out of like normalcy, then it's weird, or like you're causing trouble. So then when I ended up in a situation where I'm just full of freedom and I have no structure and I can do whatever I want, I'm like pressing the brake, or I'm pressing the gas full throttle. I'm like, yo, I'm outside. Ain't nobody telling me to go in. It's over with. And so, you know, with that, like with super structure and then into freedom, like you kind of have to like gain that balance of like, all right, you got that freedom now, but what are you going to do with it?
Right.
And that's why I think like that parenting aspect is big, because like it's one thing to, like, I had cousins who like were sheltered and then they go off to college and they wild out, end up getting pregnant, all kind of stuff, right? But it's like, for myself, my mom was like, throughout high school, I don't care what you doing, where you at, I just need to know your last location everywhere you go. She used to be like,
That's
just in
what my mom
case.
used to say.
I'm gonna be like, just in case anything happens, I can get in trouble if the police come and I don't know where you at.
Don't know where
so
you
I
at.
just share the location, or I'll be like, Mama, I'm at such and such house. I'm going to this party, and she'd be like, be safe. Don't get in no car accident. Don't get arrested.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that, having that freedom though, it also allowed me to understand like, okay, my mama trusts me to make the right decision. So I'm not about to wild out to where I'm going to get in trouble. But it also cultivated me to be able to understand like having that freedom is something that I'm used to. So when I did go off to a different state on my own, I already know how to move. The only qualities that I took with me is just like, you know, growing up in the inner city, we understand like, okay, why this car driving by 2 or 3 times? Let's dip. Let's go out.
Right.
You know, when any other time, you don't have to worry about that a lot in different states. But it's just, I pulled those qualities with me, but I took the ones that I were able to gain by just having freedom already throughout high school, where I didn't have to wild out because I was already given that.
Yeah. And I was a free spirit, so my mom knew that. So she encouraged that type of behavior within her structure. So, and I think that is really good with parenting, but also just like everybody, like you have to know yourself, and you have to make sure that maybe if you don't feel like your parents really know you, then help them know you, so they can maybe figure out how to structure your life, or the way that they discipline you, or the way that they act with you, especially when you get to that high school, about to go to college stage, so they can act with you accordingly. Because my mom did the same thing, because she knows that I'm a free spirit and I'm still bop around and do whatever anyway, because that's just how I am.
Yeah.
So she's like, let me just welcome it, so I can at least control it a little bit, you know, control the bookends of it. I need to know where you are here, and this and that and the third. So then I was the same way when I went to college. But it's very interesting, because when you are exposed to that, like, you know, before 18 or before you go away, you already distracted yourself.
Right.
Basically, yeah.
You basically already distracted
But you know how to
yourself.
manage it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I distracted myself in high school.
Right.
For sure.
So like, okay, we kind of broke down distractions. So could we kind of like help our audience? You know what I'm saying? We always trying to help out the audience a little bit, but can we kind of like pick a distraction or something like that and kind of give advice on how to kind of either not make it a distraction or allow that specific distraction to help you in the long run. You know, be use it to make you stronger or something like that.
I would say maybe
Pick your distraction.
peer
it's like
pressure, because I think a lot of these, like, I don't like referring to them as kids, but like young adults deal with like the peer pressure aspect. And it's like we talked about, like the people around you can be distractions. So I know the young adults of this age care a lot about what people think of them,
Right.
and people have comments on what people are doing, so that can hinder them, but that can also like stress them out and put them in a bubble to where they aren't in position to reach their full potential. So I would say, like, when it comes to the peer pressure aspect that, you know, you guys may be dealing with, is just like find a balance to be able to take some of it maybe as like constructive criticism,
Right.
but also be able to just block it out and understand like what your goal is, or what it is that you're trying to achieve, and really think about there's going to be things that's going to prevent you from achieving that. So a lot of times when you hear some of these negative things, think of it sometimes as like, this is just something that's being thrown in my path to try to throw me off of it, but I got to stay focused on that main goal. So
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure. Yeah.
What about you, Bonnie?
They always love when I talk about having 5 jobs as a freshman in high school or in college. I had 5 jobs because I liked to make money and I liked buying things. So I think, you know, I didn't have a balance on like what my priorities were. So I'm like, let me get these 5 jobs and make a lot of money and pay for my apartment and sustain my lifestyle. But like I lost track of what I was kind of in school for, and just lost sight and lost focus. So don't do 5 jobs if you're a full-time student. Maybe, you know, do like 1 or 2 at most. And maybe your job should be on campus and not off campus, because that's crazy to be, you know, a full-time student but have 4 jobs off campus. And yeah, like your distractions, if you find them outweighing or like overbearing you on what your focus should be, you really gotta like wheel yourself back in and be like, all right, girl, like, or if you're a guy, whatever, but like, all right, girl, like,
Still all right, girl.
Yeah. All right, girl is inclusive. Let's start there.
Pause.
Yes, it is.
You know, just be like, all right, I'm here for a reason. What is my reason? One of our other coworkers, she talked about like, what is your why? I had no idea why I was in college besides the fact I was expected to be there. And I didn't really realize why I was there until like 7 years later. I was in college that first round because my mom told me that I was going to college, but I wasn't really there because I had an idea of what my end goal was going to be. And so that's why I guess I picked up all these jobs and these ideas before I thought I was supposed to be, and I wanted to be self-sufficient. And I wanted my freedom so bad without asking for help. So yeah, like your distractions can really cloud your vision and can cloud your why. So maybe after listening to this, you know, write down in a journal or think about like, what is your big idea? Like, why are you going to school? Why are you moving forward for whatever passions or interests you might be moving towards? So yeah.
That's big. That's big. Kobe Ray, what's up?
Oh, I get to answer?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Our meanness.
Well, they said some really good ones. I think like the biggest two. I think another big one is you gonna get distracted by your love interests. Okay, we gotta talk. You know, like that is always gonna get you. Whether they are boyfriend, girlfriend, situationship, that one actually be the worst one.
That'd be the worst one. That one tear you up.
If you gotta name it that's a distraction.
Right. Right. Situationships, the friends with benefits, the whatevers, all of that could be a distraction if it's not healthy, if it's not well communicated, if it's not serving you, if it's not elevating your life, if it doesn't feel safe. Your body will tell you if it doesn't feel safe. That the next thing you know, you're like planning your whole life around somebody and they not planning theirs around you.
Yeah.
What kind of sense does that make?
Yeah, crying and throwing up over somebody who ain't.
Crying and throwing up is tea.
Get up off the floor.
Get
I think it got a
Personal.
little personal.
because
Crying and throwing up.
Don't let that happen to me. Though.
What?
yes, my friends,
Get up
women
off the
have
floor.
really bad anxiety. Men have really bad anxiety. Everybody has really bad anxiety. But if you're the type of girly that if you're anxious and you're crying, you have to throw up, I feel you. Don't let anybody get you to that point. You have to think about your character, your values, and if somebody takes you out of that, then that's a distraction.
Yeah.
Because who you are as a person is leading your path, leading you down your path. That is all you. They are the driving force. They're the ignition. Whoever you are is the ignition, okay? And you don't want that. You don't want it to fail. And somebody can really, really cut your brakes.
Guard
Yeah, yeah.
Slash your tires.
Brakes.
Right.
Guard your heart.
Yeah, that's
Guard
what
your
I.
spirit.
That's,
Yes.
That sound like.
Guard your
Guard it
mind.
up. Guard it up.
Guard it up.
Especially for the girlies out there, you know, it's hard for you to open up and be vulnerable. Don't just give your heart willy-nilly, because then it's like you give your heart to someone and it's like they ain't, you know,
Squat.
They ain't squat.
That's a good one.
And then when it's time to do it again, you're very reluctant. And
Right.
then you're reluctant on the times when, you know, you can really benefit from that. So, you know, scars and wounds exist. You may not see them on your body, but they linger in your body. Trauma
yes.
lingers in your body. So, you know, if you're crying and throwing up over someone, maybe
you shouldn't be with them.
Yeah.
And let's get real,
Be
because
at the clinic every other week.
let's get real. We ain't gonna sit and act like that don't happen on the men's side too.
Well, I was
Like-
just about to say, men too. I think that as humans, we have the stop. As humans, we have the tendency to, when we get hurt that one time, we are guarded for the next.
Oh, lockdown.
But men,
Yeah.
but
Men, I think it's worse.
women,
than
you
women.
guys are more open to being acceptable to the next situation. Men, nah. It'd
Right.
be like, yeah, you did it. I
Right.
was good for these X
And-
amount of years. Now I'm a dog. So
right,
it's like,
and men turn into dogs, and that's a distraction itself. Women for men, or other men for men, is whatever your preference is a distraction, especially if you're hurt, because y'all be running these streets.
But men, I would say
Wow.
men, be okay with understanding that you guys may end up hurt in the situation too, especially going out to college. But like,
some girl gonna break your heart.
guard your heart as well, but don't bring that trauma to the next person, I would say.
Yes.
And be open to allowing someone else to, you know, love you in their way, and be open to loving them back. But also, like, just still guard your heart, my boy.
Love could be a beautiful thing, and it could ride, whoever that person is could ride with you on that path. That one little bicycle becomes a little, you know, the two for bicycles. You guys got to pedal together.
Tandem.
That's
bike.
what it's called. Thank you. A tandem bicycle. You can turn it to that, and then that's so awesome. But if it's not feeling like that, you
Right.
gotta cut it, my friend.
That's interesting. What I was gonna say. What I was gonna say was the distraction of your past. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, because
your
what you guys
past.
just said kind of lingered into what I was gonna say. Because like, if you want to use that example of past loves hurting you, you can distract yourself from getting the right love because you still thinking about the way the past love affected you. Sometimes you might make an attempt at something and you fail, or you just had to learn more. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say fail, but you just need to learn a little more or do something to make you stronger. And you so stuck that it didn't work that now you prevent yourself from trying harder or trying again, because it's like, last time I tried, I didn't pass.
Yeah.
Last time I tried, but you don't realize you just needed to learn a little more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just need to work out a little. You can't bench that yet. You gotta start
Right,
off with something
right.
smaller.
Rep out.
So
Everything.
you know what I'm
everything.
saying?
Don't
And
let
then
it
like
pass.
your past can always just tell you, like, even in the sense of like if you want to say social media, let's go back to that, posting videos or something like that. If you post a video and it don't get that many likes,
Right.
fine, okay, don't be stuck like, oh, that last one didn't get that many likes, I ain't gonna post no more. How they gonna see you if you ain't out here saturating the market, if you ain't out here
Saturated.
doing something that you know what I'm saying,
Right.
putting yourself out there more? It's just don't allow the past to distract you, and don't allow nobody else's past to distract you. Sometimes your parents, like I said earlier, they can accidentally distract you because your parents couldn't make it out the hood, your parent couldn't get into college, your parent didn't get a good SAT score, your parent couldn't get that job they was looking for, your parents started a business and they failed, so they're gonna be like, starting your own business that's difficult, that's hard, focus on going to college or whatever. Or your parent is telling you to go to this specific school because that's what they wanted or something. They couldn't get into it. You know what I'm saying? When it's like that past that they went through, you don't have to face the repercussions of.
Right.
You know? And everybody else's fears is another past that you just don't want to allow you to be distracted. Learn and get your own experience. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when people be like, oh, I don't like him because of X, Y, and Z. That's how he treated you. I ain't never kicked it with Buddy, so I'm not feeling, you know what I'm saying? I'm not feeling let your experience in that realm alter my future experience. Because then you can go into a situation and be like, I already don't like you. This man probably was about to give you some money. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got a business idea, and that's probably the person that's to connect to something, but because old girl didn't have a good experience, or your other homie didn't have a good experience, it's like, nah, I don't talk to him.
And
so
they didn't tell you what they did.
Right.
That's another podcast, huh?
That's another podcast. I think too, like, those of you that have parents that are like, you have to go to this school because I said so, or you have to do this job, or you have to achieve these things, and if you don't, then I won't support you. That's tough. And I think, you know, those of you in that situation have to choose between, do I set my own path without the support and resources of the people who are supposed to do this for me? Or do I do something that I'm not passionate about for the sake of what my parents say, because they'll support me? And some of you might have to go down that path where it's like you have to choose between the support and this artificial support and love of your parents or the structure that they provided for you, versus setting yourself off on a whole new path and journey that you have no idea even where to begin, but you might have to decide and be bold enough to do that. And that is a sacrifice, and it is a very real sacrifice, but it can serve you well, you know, especially if these people aren't serving you, you know, as the way that they're supposed to. So that'd be that is it conditional or situational support? Where it's like, I'll pay your tuition, but you gotta go here. Yeah.
Right? You know,
I was the type of kid where it's like, I ain't gonna do that. You know, I don't even want it then. I know they mad at me, but you know, at the end of the day, it might have taken me a long time, but I wouldn't choose it any other way. And being bold enough to choose to set your own path, and you know, even though it takes you a long time, it's like I could say that I did it. Just like you, Kobe Ray, where it's like you live in New York, and you're like, everything that I have here is like, well, I did that. You know, there is beauty in that, and there's beauty in finding the support along the way. So it's like these people who are supposed to support you may not do that, but you now get to gift yourself with finding a new community that will support you.
And understand that a lot of things that you may want to do within this new way of living, because the world is completely different from your parents, our parents. So a lot of the views that they have don't necessarily work in today's world. There's a lot of things that you can get involved in that can allow you to be successful that your parents won't agree with, because it's not how they were brought up. It's not a norm to them. So that's where it falls into that category of, don't be afraid to literally blaze your own trail. Like you're going to have those people that's going to try to hinder you, or that's going to say either do this or I'm not going to do this. It's like, okay, sometimes you got to say, okay, bye.
Right.
You know, take that leap of faith. You got to do what's best for you.
Right.
Like, choose yourself. Like,
Choose
I choose
yourself.
me.
That is the perfect way to wrap up this episode.
Ooh, I have
choose yourself.
Yeah, choose yourself.
You want to say it, Derek?
No, I was gonna say something else. If we wrapping up, we gotta wrap up though.
You want to close out with your
No. I was gonna ask everybody, like, cause I was thinking, cause you said earlier, comfort is like the number one distraction. So if comfort, y'all and everybody nodded their head just now. So if comfort is number one, what's 2, 3, 4, 5?
Oh, that's perfect.
6, 7, 8.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Ooh,
Get
another
that question
episode
on the next episode.
Or,
of
Comment.
Life
or,
Comment.
or I was about to say, you leave a comment. We're going to say comfort is number one. So
Mhm.
y'all subscribers and viewers and audience, tell us what 2, 3, 4, 5 is in the realm of distractions.
Right.
Kobe, wait, how we close it out?
Well, thank you all for watching and tuning into Live Lessons. We are the power of me team. Woo woo. And if you are in any of the states that we will be visiting next to the Black College Expo, hopefully we will be visiting your school.
Comment
And-
your school.
Yes, comment your
Below.
school,
Yes,
please.
so we can come and talk to your school.
Come
Yeah.
and visit. You'll get even cooler version of this, maybe.
Crazier.
Yeah, maybe a little crazier.
A cool.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if you want us to come to your school, you should message us on
Yeah.
Instagram. I feel like that's safer.
Yes.
Facts.
Instagram
Yes.
at
Don't comment your school.
at
Don't.
Black College Expo or NCRF Foundation
Yeah.
not dot. Those are the Instagrams. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. This was Life Lessons, and spread love, choose yourself, and avoid distractions, or actually take a hold of your distractions. And
Figure it out.
Life is about figuring it out.
You keep making mistakes, then you're on the right route.
We're not doing the whole thing.
I think those are just lessons to help others out.
She messed up. She's out.
She skipped a part.
She skipped.
Because there's another generation coming after you.
What you
Say
saying?
dreams, so stay on pursuit.
Here we go.
So when
When
the
the
young
youngest
ones
get confused, they gon' come to you.
Asking a bunch of questions. Then what you gonna do?
You
gonna tell them it was hard and you gave up? Or you gonna tell them to stay strong and keep your head up? You can't say it and not do it. They need examples.
It's our job to pass the torch and light like mantle.
It's our
It's
job
that
to
time right now. I know y'all feel it.
Use the present to change the future for a better living. Think about it.
If you schedule us to come to your school, I will say that poem the right way.
The correct way.
How many
Power
times
of
you messed
me,
up?
twice. Power of me in the building, and we popping.
Bye. Say bye,
Ooh,
chicken.
no. Cut that out, Darko. Just shot him up.
Well.